Okay, we're going to work on homework 7.7 complex numbers. So, what are complex numbers? Those are we call imaginary numbers, and they are created for solving problems where we have a negative number under square root. Sometimes, let's say in engineering, you are hitting calculation where the negative number end up in the square root or radical with even degree. How to deal in that case? What to do? And that's how they created imaginary number. Imaginary number I, meaning imaginary, that's how it was created, is equal square root negative 1. And from here, I squared is equal square root negative 1 times square root negative 1, and it's going to be equal square root negative 1 squared, right? And we have here also squared because it's square root practically, and it's going to come out negative 1. All right? So I is equal square root negative 1, and I squared is equal negative 1. Those are we are going to use in the following problems. Okay, question 1, square root of negative 20. So 20, we are going to, excuse me, square root 20, we are going to negative 20, we are going to break down like square root negative 1 and times square root 20, right? Square root negative 1 is going to be I, imaginary number, and square root 20 I'm breaking down as a square root 4 times square root 5. Square root 4 is 2, so it's going to be 2i, and square root 5 stays underneath, right? Okay, 2i square root 5. Okay. Where is I? Oh, here it is. And square root 5. Next one, 5 square root 27. So 5 square root of negative 1, it's going to be 5i, right? Now 27 I can break down into 9 and 3, right? So out of 9, 3 will come out. Put 6, should be 5. 3 will come out, and we have also 5. 3 times 5 is 15. So 15i and square root of 3, because we had 27 was 9 times 3, right? That 3 will get stuck, just like here we have, and square root of 9 is 3, which times 5, it's going to be 15. Okay, what we have next? So negative 7 times negative 15. It's going to be 15 times 7, 105. Number 3. It's going to be 105. And I times I, let me write down, okay? Which is equal negative 1 times times 7 times here also negative 1 times 15, right? So -1, it's going to be square root of -1 squared, right? So square root 7 times 15, it's going to be square root 105. So square root -1 squared, it's going to come out -1, correct? And square root 105, which is going to be -105. So negative square root 105. Next one. Okay, square root -14 divided by square root -2. Square root 2. We need to rationalize, remember? We cannot have square root in denominator. And this is what we're gonna do. I'm going to write down -1 times square root 14. Here is square root 2. And now, to rationalize, I'm multiplying square root 2 here, multiplying square root 2 here, which is going to give me square root -1, it's going to be I, right? And 14 times 2, it's going to be square root 28. Here I get clean 2. Square root 28, I can break down square root 4, square root 7. Square root 4, 2 comes out, 2i, and underneath square root 7, square 7, and 2. And then canceling 2 and 2, I square root 7. I and square root 7. Next question. Okay, like term, what do we have here? Available term I can combine with available term, and I will combine with I. So 8 plus 15, since between parentheses plus, it's going to be easy to work out. 8 plus 5 is going to be 13. And then -9i plus 2i, it's going to be -7i. That's it. I put J. Okay. Number 6. Okay, now here we have to flip the sign, right? Because we have negative in front of parentheses. So it's going to be 2 plus 5i minus 9 plus 9i. Because we have negative sign. And once I open parentheses, 9 will become negative. Negative 9i will become positive. So 2 minus 9, it's going to be -7. And then 5i and plus 9i, because once we open parentheses, and this negative will become positive, right? 5i plus 9i, it's going to be positive 14i. Well, now we have to distribute and multiply. So 3i times 3, it's going to be 9i. 3i times -7i. Pushed. Okay, 9i. 3i times 7i, it's going to be Let me write down just the way it is. I'll do just drafting here. Minus, it's going to be negative 7i times 3, negative 21 21i. And that's it. Oh, both of them are I, 3i and 7i. So it's going to be I squared, right? And because we know that I squared is equal negative 1, let's see here. Then our I squared is going to be treated as a negative 1. And since we have negative 21, with this another negative, it's going to become positive. Okay. Number 8. 5 plus 8i, 5 minus 8i. That's like a plus b times a minus b, right? It's a formula for difference of squared. Write down formula. Remember, a plus b, a minus b is equal a squared minus b squared, which means what do we have? 5 square root 5 plus 8i. Okay. And we get square root 5 plus 8i, square root 5 minus 8i. And we are going to get square root 5 squared and then minus 8i squared, right? So square root 5 squared is going to be clean 5, right? Minus 8 squared is 64, and I squared is going to be negative 1, which is going to be positive 64, and answer is going to be 69. Number 9. Okay, 4 over I. We need to rationalize also. 4 over I. I'm going to times I to get rid of I in denominator, times I here. And as a result, I'm getting here I squared and here 4i. I squared is equal negative 1 for I, which is going to be equal negative 4i. Beautiful. And the last one, 4 plus 9i squared. There are two ways to solve this problem. Either use formula or just go through long multiplication. Let me see one more time. 4 plus 9i. So one way is write down as a 4 plus 9i times 4 plus 9i. The other way, and then keep solving. The other way is use the formula a plus b squared, which is equal a squared plus 2ab plus b squared, where my a is 4, b is 9i, right? Okay, so I would rather go through using formula than long multiplication. This formula is a shortcut of multiplication, because if you use the formula, you're going to end up with same answer. All right, so we need to use first a squared, which is going to be 4 squared and then plus 2 times a is 4, b is 9i, and plus b squared, which is going to be 9i squared. And we get 16 plus 2 times 4 is 8, 8 times 9 is 72i, and plus 9 squared is 81, and okay, let me go slow, 81, and I squared, right? Since I squared equal -1, then the answer is going to be minus 81. Okay, so from here we are getting 16 minus 81. It's going to be 5, negative, and 7 minus 1 is 6, negative 65 plus 72i. Negative 65 plus 72i. Okay, we are done.